Welcome to the Diaspora Gist, and I have a very interesting topic, or we have a very interesting topic we want to talk about today. How many of you know couples who live separately, and maybe a spouse with the kids live in one country and the other spouse works in another country? Do you know someone like that? Let us know in the comment below. But let me introduce you to my wonderful guest. Actually, I'll let my brother do that.
Yeah, thank you again for having to tune in today to this episode. Yinka, and I've known Yinka for years, and for decades actually. And this is his lovely wife, Chris. And I thought it was important that we brought them today to talk about us living apart, especially as we migrants, especially when we come to a host country and then we think we have to go back to our native country to try and make things work for us in terms of business. Yinka and I were in Lagos for about from 2009 to when did you leave?
To about 2016.
2016.
So first of all, you diasporized.
Yes, we're diasporized.
You came to America and he went to the UK.
Yeah, well, he came from the UK actually because it was the UK.
Oh, so we diasporized.
Yeah, diasporized so many times.
So you went to the UK or wherever you left Nigeria?
No, he was in the UK, then moved to America, then from America met lovely Chris, and then we were in LA, and then from LA came to Nigeria. And we had the same experiences because obviously I was married to a Ghanaian who grew up in the UK, but we both went back to look for the proverbial golden fleece again back in Nigeria. But I thought it was very important that we talk about, because a lot of us come and Chris, you would know this as well right now. You'd ever heard of a lot of us that come that are Nigerians that came to this country or were in the UK and then decided to go back to Nigeria to look for better opportunities. I'll be a gentleman here and I'll ask you first, Chris. Well, when he told you he was going back to, first of all, I'll ask, later on we'll talk about how you guys met.
Okay.
But when he said he wanted to move back to Nigeria to some business, what you guys were in LA then, right?
We were in LA, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And how did you think? What did you think about it when he said he wanted to do it?
Well, I was fine with it because America was starting a recession. So it was an option, and I think his family always encouraged him.
That's why I love Americans.
Very straightforward.
Yes, about money. Once you're making money,
Okay, so you went back to Nigeria because.
Oh, I went back to Nigeria just like she said, greener pastures, right?
Yeah.
We wanted to make more money.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put that in before she continues with the explanation.
We went back just to, there was recession in the States, and also, there were more opportunities in Nigeria.
That's what you
I think oil prices were really high.
So there was a need to go back home.
So there was a perception of more opportunities. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
Because I have to put it that way because we'll figure out why it was a perception.
Okay.
So that was okay by you at that time.
Totally fine.
How old was your Tommy at that time?
Tommy was about 4 or 5.
I was 2009, so he must have been. No, he was 5 years old then. I moved.
Okay,
5 years old.
5,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He, every time Addie left, he would go for 6 weeks, 2 months, then
sometimes 3 months.
And then come home for a month. But every time he left, Tommy would cry in the back seat for a couple of days, Daddy, and cry. It took a little bit.
It was a lot
to get used to.
It was a lot of toll.
But I'm very independent, and I was a single mom at one point, so it was fine with me. Actually, when he came back, it was.
You remember he came back at the end of we'll get there. We have a question about that eventually. Now, when Yinka, you and I went back at the same time.
Yep.
Right. Did we ever achieve what we thought we were going to achieve?
For a certain period of time, I thought we were getting there. Do you understand? Especially in the early part of the time, the year that we moved. I'm talking about 2009, 2010. We thought we saw a path to success. Do you understand? Yeah. So initially, I thought we did.
How can you define the path of success? Because I'm asking you this because I know I had the same experience, and I want to understand why you thought we had that path of success.
Well, for me personally, remember then I started a towing company, which was, I won a major contract with Lagbus, which was the state government. State government to tow all the buses, all the breakdowns on the road. Yeah. So do you understand? So I saw a path there. Well, this is going to be a good opportunity for me. Do you understand?
Right.
And so I thought that was it was for the best. That things would begin to pick up, and I was getting paid on time, and so to be very realistic, to be very honest with you, I really thought that was a good path at that point until things began to deteriorate,
to fall apart.
In the sense that late payments. You remember, you work for 3 months. Then you get paid for 1 month. You work for 6 months, towing bus. So it was an accumulation of inconsistencies in the government
So reality started to set in after a while.
That's exactly.
Okay.
It was up and down.
Chris, one of the things I probably would ask, and I would ask because we didn't have this, we didn't have the foresight at that time to understand what the impact would be on family life. Well, how did that begin to impact on? Did it have an impact on how you dealt with the absence in terms of from a relationship standpoint, from a
he would come home and then perhaps the first couple weeks criticize how I was doing things, and that didn't seem fair.
Why did you think that was happening?
I'm not sure why.
I was asking the same thing.
Yeah, he does. Perhaps he wasn't liking the way I did it, but
that you had always done before.
Or he wasn't even there.
He wasn't there. I was just doing the things the way I did it.
Yeah, but if you think about it, if you think about it, it was things that you had done similarly before. Yeah. So what changed?
Maybe he was frustrated because he wasn't with us, and that's how it manifested. So perhaps in retrospect,
that how you choose to?
Maybe.
It was mostly because of that. Actually,
he used to get very upset 2 weeks before he knew he had to leave. He would get very moody and cranky. So right? Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's been a while. So
do you think that if what do you think it might have been different if Lagbus was paying on time? It's not even about Lagbus or anything. It was just basically, you have a son who is 5-6 years old, then you have a wife going out. There are a lot of activities that you have to be involved in. Basketball. I used to play basketball. My boy, do you understand? Yeah. Go to Lifetime or YMCA, things like that. I go out with my wife, the kids go to the movies. I miss things like that. Then you be gone to Nigeria for 3 months. Remember?
Yeah.
The time you go for 2 months.
Yeah.
By the time you come back, things look different. Then you have to basically, try to, adapt to what's going on. Around you again, because you used to being by yourself in Nigeria, pretty much most of the time.
A friend shared this with me that his family was here. Mm-hmm. And anytime he came back, he found that he had to fit into their schedule. Like they had planned life without him being there. Not for anybody, but you're not there. Yeah. We have to plan things. And so they're trying to schedule him in and pencil him in. And he said something he felt irrelevant.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Was that something you felt too?
Absolutely. Because they have a kind of system in place already, while you weren't there. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So I have to learn to adapt to their lifestyle now because they've been for 2 months, 3 months without dad. Do you understand? So you find it difficult to basically integrate into that, system again. That's right.
But the interesting thing about it here is that you both had decided that it was okay for you to go. So surely you should have thought that change would be easy to adapt to, right, Chris?
Because we decided, I mean, I didn't really think about it in depth, but I mean, there was always a transition.
Yeah,
I think anytime if you have guests come stay with you for a long period of time, it was just a transition, and we made it work. I think.
Yeah, we did make it work. There was adjustment.
To be honest with you, I don't know how that worked, because he and I, because we went back about the same time, and we used to spend a lot of time together, and the one thing we used to look, the funny thing about it is that because Nigeria during the week was just hustle. It was just pure hustle. Yeah. So you didn't have time to think about what you were doing. But if you had a family that you cared about, the worst times for us was the weekend.
Yeah.
The worst times were, in fact, I used to say, and I'll say this, I like I said, there are no red lines here. He and I used to drink vodka and orange, or whatever it is, but a lot of vodka on weekends.
Because
we had an amazing cook who doesn't know how to speak English. When he was good,
it was good.
We'll spend. We give him some money to cook for us, but it was tough.
It was tough.
Yeah. So I want to ask a question. Tomiwa was 4 or 5. How did he? What was the effect on him?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think that we're very close, Tomiwa and I. He's close with his dad, but he is very close with me. And I think, I mean, I just realized it talking that perhaps that was because you went to Nigeria.
Yeah, I mean, normally,
I mean, he is
boys are closer to their mom, than dad most times, especially boys. But to me, it was. I mean, that's the effect on you, right? To me, I mean, for my
I'm talking long term. I'm saying you have a beautiful relationship with your son, but we are very, very close.
Yes, absolutely.
Because it was the two of us.
Okay, was there anything he struggled with that you wish he was around so that he would help deal with the situation? Or maybe was it because being at that age? Maybe was it easier? I mean, I don't know.
It was easier. It was fine. Yeah.
Let me just come in. One other thing that you guys have to realize is that period in his life, Tomiwa's life, was a period of bonding. Father-son relationship.
And you were missing at that time.
You have to. I don't care where you are. You have to bond with your boy. In different ways. To me, it was mostly, basketball. We go out.
That's when later on, that's how you guys bonded, actually.
Yes.
But it's funny you say that, because I know that when I was away from my daughter had a different kind of and they're similar ages. Tommy is 16, right?
15.
You just turned 15.
It's 15. No, she's a couple, just about 3 years older, but still the same age bracket. And I realized that when I went back, and I didn't think that. I thought because she was female, she would be closer to her mother, and she is closer to her mother. But I also realized that this opposite thing works.
Yeah.
Boy to mother, girl to father. And every time I went back to Nigeria, I realized, I remember my wife told me at some point, look, you know what, and she was all serious, very serious, was like, you know what, I'm going to have to send her back to you because she's not coping well at school. And that I didn't really. She had some anxiety, separation issues on my side.
I remember those.
Yeah, those nights when I have to.
She would call you like 5-6 times.
I would sit down and and I thought to myself, one of the reasons why we decided to do this was I thought to myself, we have this impression especially as migrants from Africa, especially because that's the framework that we have. So, and Nigeria specifically, that you know what. Things could be easier back. When things go down south in our adopted country, things could. And why don't I figure out, Inka, why don't we? If we had stayed through that period, don't you think we would have done a lot better, and then not have to look? Because that was a cop out. If you think about it, personally, I think that was a cop out. I think there are other people that. What if we didn't have that fall back.
Or the fallback
to go back to Nigeria. What if we were not Nigerians? People survived it.
Oh,
People survived the recession, and they came out of it better. We didn't come out better. I certainly you didn't. I mean, when we left with a lot of cursing.
Yeah. I know. We just, because we thought we had an alternative, Nigeria. You understand? Because most people in the same kind of predicament like us did not go back because there's no other place to go.
Yeah, there's no place to go.
The Americans,
and they came out on the other side.
That's right. The Americans who are not Nigerians or who are just
Americans.
Just American Americans. That's all they know. You know. So
and it was an adopted country, and in that process we missed bonding with our wives, we missed bonding with our kids. We grew apart. There's a lot of consequences that I began to I remember speaking to my sister about this, and because we apart from that we also have a few other people that we know that are going through this, and we said, the for us the truth about it was why isn't when people like you and I move here, why don't we look at that as home and just concentrate on home? When things don't work out,
we quickly go back thinking
why do you think it's easier to go back? And for me,
that's a good question.
Yeah, and now we're back.
Well, that's human nature. I think.
But you
could always go home.
Yeah,
you can always. But
this is home.
But this is home.
That's the thing.
This is home. But it only happens to be human nature with Africans.
No.
Because look at the Asians. They just make it work. I live in London, and I said, when things are not going well, those guys don't up and say they're going back home.
They don't. Because this is their adopted home.
Yeah.
So I feel like we think maybe we have an advantage, and maybe if we go back home, we know people, things will be easier. Does that come into play?
Yes.
That maybe we don't have a network here.
Actually, a lot of
so
that.
we think going back home, we have a network of people we can reach out to
and that is very true. We have the perception and the reality is very different.
Yep.
When we, especially for myself and himself, we grew up in a middle class background in which we had a huge network of influential people.
Yeah.
It just happened that the influential people that we thought we had network did not
consider you as part of their network.
Exactly, after a while. And everybody had moved on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the truth about it as well is that apart from that, we forgot that we had also developed into different people while we were here.
Yeah.
So we were not like them.
Yeah.
And because we were not like them,
in terms of the nuances of of doing things, it's different. It's different in different countries.
Yes, really. and don't forget that the one thing about the US or the UK or the West is it accentuates your behavior or your personality. So if you're an independent person, you become even more independent.
Yeah.
So if you go back to a system that requires you to be subservient, it's impossible.
It's hard.
Yeah.
So you realize that you're caught in limbo.
Yeah.
You thought you were the same person that you were when you left many years ago.
Yeah.
And then you go back and things are not working.
Yeah.
And then you still try to make it work, but you realize that what you need to do as a person, you are not that person anymore.
Yeah.
And so that doesn't work out for you anymore.
But the truth.
And then you come back. I think it's been, I don't know, I'm going to ask you something.
Yeah.
Since you've re-diasporized, which is what I call it. Let me ask Chris, what do you think? When he said he was coming back, I bet you are ecstatic that he said he was coming back. I knew things were not, we all left when things were still difficult for us back to come to.
I think he felt like a failure for a long time. Just now, recently that he started his business here, I think he lost absolutely everything.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, you're coming back, yay! I was very, very sad for him.
Yeah, we were in the same position, trust me.
Because he really put everything,
and
all the sacrifices. Yeah. He put everything into it.
Yeah.
And I think he's coming out of it now.
Yeah.
I stood by him.
Yeah.
And
that's all we can ask. And that's all we can ask. But what he and I probably look at is the amount of time. I mean, nothing is wasted. I mean, we kind of find,
we can't have any regrets.
Yeah, we kind of, and you kind of have, I mean, so I remember the last time I was here in the summer, I can't remember, I've been here about 3 or 4 times in the last few months. And I said to him one day, myself and another friend who came back as well.
Yeah.
He came back. We went back, and
Yeah.
he came back as well. And he lives here in Atlanta. And he said to me, and we're sitting down in Avalon.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah, I was sitting down, and this was about a few months ago. And we were sitting, I was saying, it was just about 9:30 at night. And we looked at ourselves and said, we're having fun. Why did we even leave this?
Why?
You know what Addie says? He says, why did I put all my eggs in one basket?
Yeah.
Why didn't I keep something here?
Yeah.
And that for me is the
profound.
and that's for me is the profound.
You put everything
And
in
we put everything. We sat.
Yeah.
We,
And the thing is that we not what we should have done was to have grown the eggs could have grown into
different basket. Yeah.
In this place, because this is where we were.
Yeah.
And then before we started, and for me that's exactly the lesson that I wanted to take out of this.
Yep.
Everybody, once you leave your homeland and you migrate, you better make sure that is what you want to, and you want to make it work there. It's your home.
Make it work.
Yeah.
So and there will always be
ups and downs.
Yeah.
So when there's the down, you cannot drop it because you think you have an alternative and run back. It's it's an admission of failure. To be honest with you, it is an admission.
I think we also forget that if you go back home, as you call it, there are also ups and downs back there.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So there are ups and downs everywhere. So if you always bail out when it's down, you would always go back and forth, and you will never be satisfied.
Yeah.
And maybe what we should also do is I'm going to ask from Chris now what she thinks. We have a segment called The Voice of Reasoning, which is what we take out of all this, and ask from Chris, probably you more than anybody else that has to advise people from that might face what you had gone through as well. What would you advise, and how would you come up with some kind of advice to tell people like what they should expect or what they shouldn't do or how they should handle it and whatever? If your partner who is Nigerian, Kenyan, whatever says he wants to go back to do live apart because they're trying to make ends meet.
I don't think you ever in a relationship want to discourage someone from their dreams.
Okay.
I mean, first of all.
Yeah.
So I always supported him. I trust him. I still trust him. Yeah. I mean, it's what we thought we were doing the right thing.
Yeah. So you would advise
we could be sitting here right now and saying, "Oh, we should have." You don't want to ever say, "Oh, we should have done that," So is there anything you want them to consider before they make those decisions?
Exactly.
Like consider this, make a plan for this.
Yeah.
Because I think you're pretty lucky. I think you're pretty lucky that you could actually come home every 2-3 months. What if you couldn't come home for 6 months?
Once a year. Yeah.
And that could very well have happened.
Yeah, that happens a lot. That people can come.
We know people that the plan was to come every 2-3 months
and then drop in every 6 months.
And then suddenly things didn't just work out.
And that eventually will destroy the relationship.
And I think for me that is where you were lucky, and that is true. But I think people need to consider the bigger picture and to consider the consequences. And I don't think we fully understand the consequences. I think we think about the optimism about what could happen.
Well, I'm an optimist.
Yes. But can I? And I know we have like 1 or 2 minutes, and I'm really stretching this. But I think it's usually the guys that say they want to go back.
Yes, that's true.
And you think, oh, everything's okay.
Yeah.
You've got everything working for you. It's going to be easier for you. I don't think they figure out how much work it is to raise kids.
That's true.
It's a lot of work.
I must agree with you.
Yeah.
It is a lot of
work. And you got to figure out whether it is worth the sacrifice, even when you make it.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I was going to say. Even as a similar situations, is it really worth losing those
years?
No.
Almost
so it wasn't worth it for you?
For me, no. It's not worth it.
And that really is it. Yeah. I mean, I think we are actually lucky to be able to even get back into it. Some people have not been able to.
I don't think about it from that perspective. That's interesting. I didn't think about what you lost in regards to family time.
Yeah.
I just thought monetarily, and that for a man that's their
No, not necessarily.
Yeah.
You know, the lot for
I didn't
your
think
family
about that.
as well.
Yeah, but the thing was like you lost both ends monetarily. You really didn't pan out as planned because, like you said, there are the ups and downs, and then you lost out on the financial. So it was like
it was double win. Yeah. I didn't really until.
And for us, and just to wind this down or wind this up, that was probably the biggest bit.
Mm-hmm.
The family time, losing the relationship with your spouse, losing the bonding.
He wasn't there for my 40th birthday.
That is profound.
For me personally, though, I think I have had friends in the same, same shoes, same scenario, same things that they lost, a family in the process. They lost investments. I don't want to mention names.
Yes, no need to. But we know so many people that.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
You lose. You can lose.
Everything you're trying to work for.
So even if you thought you gained anything monetarily, there's a whole lot of loss. There's a lot of stuff that you would lose that you have to figure out.
That's correct. Because
is it worth it?
Because my sister asked me last time she was in Atlanta. She said, "Well, do you know that if it hadn't been because I had my family in Atlanta, I would have made it in Nigeria, because now you have enough time to dedicate to what you're doing in Nigeria. That means you don't have to go, because most times you're on a roll business-wise, then you have to come back to your family in Nigeria.
Lost.
Basically abandon their family.
Oh, you have to.
Wow.
And that's the price you have to pay.
Because
that's true.
Because
they
abandon their family, something comes up that you have to attend to.
The price you have to pay to make it. Now, just to wrap this up, the price you have to pay is you cannot have it both ways.
Wow.
You cannot have your family and make it big.
And make it big.
It just won't happen. It can, but it's very rare.
Very rare.
And even when it does, you've lost. There's some. I know people, they may never accept it, but they've lost something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we really need to wrap this up. So let us know your experiences, because this is a really deep issue where families are lost, finances too in some regard. So let us know your experiences. Is this something you have experienced? Is there anything you want us to talk about? Is there anything you want to share? Would love to read your comments. So please put the comments down, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you know when we upload more content as powerful as this. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much, Nice to
Thank you. We have another episode.
You need to watch the next episode.
The next one is coming right up after this.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.